Today I'm here with Kisha Prince, the author of Keep Pressing Pretty and Unleash Your Greatness. Let's welcome Kisha Prince.
Okay, I just want to thank you for this opportunity, Felicia L. We've been knowing each other for so long, and it's exciting to be with you because I know a piece of your journey, and we have had an intimate connection for a very long time, even though we haven't seen each other in a while, but our spirits are still connected. And I'm so happy that you've given me this opportunity to embrace your platform and to talk about my new book, Unleash Your Greatness, which is now out on KishaPrince.com or Amazon.com.
Okay, well, thank you. It is always a pleasure to speak with you and to connect with you. The last time we got together, Kisha, and I am Felicia L. And the last time that we got together, we were talking about your last project, which was Keep Pressing Pretty. And
Keep
that
Pressing Pretty.
Keep Pressing Pretty. It was an awesome book. It was #1 on Amazon as a bestseller. And now you are working on a new project. Now, let's summarize what your former project was about because it will lead us into your new project.
Well, my former project, or the last book I wrote, was Keep Pressing Pretty, or the first book I wrote, I should say, was Keep Pressing Pretty. And I was just off the just coming out of a breakup, just coming out of divorce. And it was very hard for me, but I was journaling the whole time, right? And I was talking about my experience, how I had to heal, how I had to get closer with God, how I had to get to know myself all over again and find out what it is I wanted out of life outside of my relationship, outside of being a mom and all of those things. And God blessed me to be able to put those things in words. And I was able to use writing as an outlet and as therapy. I put my tears into the pen and I let it, do the speaking and expression for me. And it basically goes through the journey of me being so distraught after just coming out of a divorce into being able to find victory in my life, and how you can turn trauma into triumph. And it is so important that people don't stay where they are, but they find that path, because everybody has their journey, right? And it's not where you are, is where you're going, and the process in that. And I always tell people, don't forsake the process, right? Because the process makes you who you are. It makes you stronger. It builds you up. It gives you the courage, right, to tell your story. And
Yes.
so after that, I went through therapy. I had, found my place, found my voice. And God told me, you need to follow up. You need to follow up with Unleash Your Greatness, because some people don't want to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Some people don't have an urge to go to therapy, or they don't think it's a good idea for them, or they think it's a waste of time, but they still want to tell their story. So I created a journal for you to be able to write down your story and find a safe place to do that until you get the courage to go to therapy, because I think therapy is very essential to a person's healing and to the person's progress. And this book, it guides you from childhood to adulthood. So it has prompting questions, from childhood and adolescence to adulthood. One of the questions is, explain how you felt when you experienced or witnessed trauma as a child, or as an adolescent. It's important for you to write those things down, because I believe a lot of times we struggle with what we did not reconcile in our childhood, right? So we have this tormented, traumatized little 8-year-old, 9-year-old little girl, 9-year-old little boy in us, right? That a lot of times in the Black community, we were told to shove things under the rug, get over it, it happened, oh well. So you never heal that child. So that child doesn't grow up in you. That child remains that that broken child in you that you need to heal in order for you to flourish and thrive as an adult. right? So this book helps you do that in a very safe and sacred place. And then when you're able to then voice it and put it into words and give it to a therapist, you'll know how to verbalize it, right? And then I take you from childhood, and it's a journey from healing, rebuilding, and thriving. And I put surviving on here,
Mm-hmm.
but I crossed it out
Yeah.
because we have to get our minds outside of just surviving, right?
Yeah.
I barely have enough. I just made it, right? I was just able to pay that bill. No, God wants us to be abundant. He
Yes.
wants us to live abundantly. He said, I wish that you prosper as your soul prosper. He wants you to have both. You can obtain both. But we have to get into the mindset that we want to thrive. We want to go over and beyond what was expected, right? And you can do that. And so I give you some of the tools
Okay.
to help you do that. And I always say it first starts in your mind, right?
Yes.
Because your body, your physical is going to only do what your mind is set up to do, right?
That's right.
So that's why I put this book together. And while I was writing it, just like when I was writing Keep Pressing Pretty, it was not something just for my audience, but it helped me.
Yes.
I was able to learn and glean off of the very words that I was writing down.
And I was going to ask you, would you say that this book was a part of, was written and birthed out of the process you went through for healing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always say that you really can't help anybody else until you've been through something, right? And a lot of times we discount or we get mad at God because it's like, oh, well, why me? Why did I have to go through this? And we always think that the process, if I could have just skipped this step or didn't have to go through this, then it would have been better. No, God wanted you to get the whole experience.
Yeah.
So when you give that testimony or when you're trying to help somebody else, you can be relatable. They can glean from your story and understand the authenticity and the originality of it, right? And it's not coming from just something you read or something you've seen on TV, but you witnessed this, you experienced this, you sat in the pain, you had to go through the steps of grief, and I didn't realize that because I had the same conversation with God. Lord, why me? Why did you choose me? But God showed me and taught me as I grew in Him that all things work together for your good, that those who are called according to His purpose, I'm going to use everything in your
Yes.
pot in order for you to live in your purpose and in order for you to help somebody else.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that sometimes we forget about that. Like, yes, it was difficult. It was
Yes,
very
very
trying.
difficult.
But once we make it through that test, we have a new version of us that only God could have created. And usually it is for the next level. He's preparing us for the next level of elevation and for the next level of who pretty much he's calling us to serve in the kingdom. Yeah. So a lot of people have been blessed. I saw that you had an event recently where you had a turnout of people purchasing your book, and that you were able to talk with some of these people and share your story with them.
Yes, it was such a blessing. I did a June 10th event. Um, it was a book fair, and to meet the people, to talk to the people, and feel the people is such a blessing because you realize everybody has a unique story, right? And we all can relate to one another, and you never know who you're going to come across. You never know who God, you know, cross your paths with. And I spoke to one young lady, beautiful young lady. She was, going through some things, and I don't know all the details. But one thing about women, we have that instinctive feel for things, right? We had that discernment, and I can just tell by her spirit and her energy that something was off, right? And at the end of our interaction with one another, we were embracing one another, crying, and the Holy Spirit was just all over us because I didn't know her from a can of paint. But after I told my story and she gave me a glimpse of what she was going through, I was like, wow. And the energy was just so magnetic and beautiful. And I gave her this book, and it my hope is for her to use it as a tool, right? It may not be the be all end all of what she's going through, but it's one extra tool in her tool belt, because that's what we need in life, right? We're busy trying to build, we're busy trying to, create this world around us that gives us peace, that gives us serenity, that gives us what we need to live. And we need tools.
Yes.
We need tools for the valleys that we're going to eventually get to, right? We only stay on the mountain for a while, right? But I say when you on that mountain, get everything you can get, every tool, every encouraging word, every affirmation, because you will go down to the valley and you're going to need everything that you got on that mountain to be able to get to that next mountain. But it's always that valley piece, right? And the valley is not necessarily something to kill you, but it's to make you stronger, right? It's to build you, it's to, show you how to move and show you how to operate and navigate. So when you do get on that mountain, right, you look with a whole different perspective. When I remember when Jesus was on the mountain and the enemy came against him and said, "Hey, I'll give you all of this," right? He was so strong and so, and he used his own word against him, right? And he, a cattle of 1,000 hills already belonged to me. Why would I, hear what you're talking about? This is already mine. But because you don't know, you thought you had the gall and the audacity to come try to tempt me. Okay, all right.
Right.
But that's the thing is, that was an example of when you have those mountain experiences, the enemy try to attack. He don't try to attack you when you down and out and you like, oh, what am I gonna do? No, he wait until you get into go on that mountain and have that mountain experience. He's like, okay, that's when I can get, because he thinks that's when you're the most vulnerable. That's when you at your highest and you got this high and you're not really thinking clear. No, that's why you need all the tools to be able to resist him, and that's when he's gonna flee.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And we're always going from glory to glory and faith to faith. And so those tests, they come so that they can push us to the next level. So this has pretty much pushed you into ministry. Would you say that?
You know what? I don't know. I mean, I believe that all of us have a ministry in us. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a story. Your story is your ministry, right? When you are able to get the courage, because everybody doesn't, sometimes your trauma can take away your voice. Mm-hmm. But once you find your voice, you found your ministry, right? So I thank God because I found my voice, and God allowed my experience and my testimony to be a witness of him, to show him off, and to show how great he is and how you can go from down and out, thinking you at the bottom, to doing things you never thought you would be able to do, right? On your own, right? It's one thing to have somebody and you can always lean on him, but God showed me it's just me and you, girl. I'm your father, lean on me. And it was hard, it was challenging, but it was obtainable. And I'm a living witness that if you stick close to him and if you lean on him, he will get you through anything.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I truly believe that he has given me this as a ministry. My book is my ministry.
Exactly. Yes. And this is when you talk about the mind, it's always a battle. Mm-hmm. In the mind. And like you said, you do have to get to that point where you can see, because and that's what a part of this book does. It helps you to see that there is hope, that you can make it, and that you can look back, but you need to make sure you're focusing on looking forward because God has a plan for you. And so we do need to get through that battle. That's what every test is. It's a test to see which way are you going? Are you going to go the way that God is leading you to go? Or are you
Mhm.
going to stay stuck? And we cannot stay stuck. We have to move forward.
Absolutely.
We have a story to tell. And when we tell our story and share it, it edifies the body and everyone moves ahead. And that's what we need. That's the direction that we need to go into and move into.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
So this book, this journal, I'm excited. I haven't read it yet, but I will order my copy and I will share this with I think you even have on your website that you can purchase. If you purchase 2 copies, one will get donated to an organization for women.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. So if you order Unleash Your Greatness 2 copies, I will donate a copy to All Things Women of Detroit. We were able to donate about 25 books so far, and I'm so excited about that because those women are so deserving and they are just precious to me. A lot of them are young women who just fell on hard times and they just need some encouragement, a leg up. And so I wanted to give this book to them to help them, to show them that you are just as valuable as anybody that you come across, right? And that you can use your story as your testimony and as your purpose, right? And so, yes, I'm very excited. If you order 2 books from KishaPrince.com,
Okay.
I would donate a book to All Things Women of Detroit.
That's so awesome. Well, thank you. Today, I am highlighting Kisha Prince, who wrote a new journal here, which is called Unleash Your Greatness. And it's a journal to just help guide you in healing, rebuilding, and thriving. And some of the topics in there are kind of having you look at your past just a little bit so that you can move forward and have the ability to focus on what's ahead. So it's such a blessing to talk with you again, Kisha. I hope this is not our last time chatting together, but we are focusing at women of purpose today. And then we also want to look at healing because healing is a part of deliverance. And so we just want to make sure that God's people and just people in general that have maybe experienced some trauma and some setbacks from trauma, that they have some tools and strategies to move forward and to come up out of it so that they can thrive and even, just see a better future for themselves. So we are so thankful for this opportunity to connect and even share this information with you. So we are going to sign off now, but thank you so much, Kisha Prince, for joining me today with this little conversation about women of purpose and doing great things. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Felicia, for having me. I appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.